Okay, what is up? So today filming at a slightly different location. Because didn't have time. So because gotta work. So Shelter Drake. All right, this is the brand new random select booster. And what is a select booster? Meaning that whatever of this you buy, right, you're guaranteed to get one of these three. So at least you have a new blade. Right, that is the Shelter Drake. However, the combinations will be different. Like this is the 570O, 360D. All right, so the different ratchets. The new ratchet is gonna be the 780. We haven't seen this before, and this is a balanced bay, right? So a balanced type bay is usually means that it's good at more than one thing. So usually like an attack bay is just purely attack. Stamina bay is gonna be good at stamina. Right? So a balance could be like a bay that is good at attack and stamina, or like maybe a defense and stamina, or a good bay that's good at attack and defense. So for the Shelter Drake, right? So there's a lot of mention of like guarding and some like basically guarding and stamina. Like this is the Chinese word for 持久. Right, GQ. Alright, so it's something like the basically stamina, right? So because of the two-bladed design, it's very even, so it's probably gonna have a very good spin. Yeah, so this is a balanced blade that is good between guarding itself and defense. However, I feel like even Takara Tomy is like not very confident in this blade, and why I say that. Alright, stay tuned because I'm gonna unbox this now and let you see why it is. Okay, and so before going further, this is the skill up guide, the exciting news. March 29, a brand new series of BeyBladeX is coming out. So we currently have the BX line, the UX line, and this is the new one, the CX line. So it's a new, they are adding new stuff to this system. So it's full of customization. So if you want to find out more, right, this is basically the CX version of the Drun Sword. It's called the Drun Brave. And I posted a lot of information about the upcoming CX line. So do head on over to my X, or formerly known as Twitter. I posted a lot of that stuff there. Alright, so anyway, back to why I think Takara Tomy, even Takara Tomy themselves, right, don't have confidence with this Shelter Drake, is because the skill up guide, they don't even feature the blade. They're telling you like the best combination. Oh, your Impact Drake 160, this is from Golem Rock, and then Gear Point. And the thing is, Gear Point, we have this from something else before. So, I'm actually quite surprised that they're like, yeah, you know what? Nah, Impact Drake is better. But, so providing an honest and unbiased opinion, because this is how I do things, right? I don't get myself affected by opinions and discussion online, so this is going to be a purely unbiased review on how I feel this blade is going to be. So carry on with the unboxing. Here we go. Okay, so for new bladers, and if this is your first time buying a random booster or a random select booster, you're gonna get 3 black packaging from inside, and you have no idea what blade you get unless you see this thing, right? This is going to tell you 01, this is a price base, 02, the other colors, right? So this will tell you what it is. Okay, let's open this up. And so now, fully open up, let's look at the blade, right? So the blade is a two-bladed design, and the underside I'm trying not to get myself spoiled by what people were saying, right? But then some people mentioned that this blade is actually uneven. I'm not too sure. I will have to see how it behaves in the stadium. But damn, this is a very flat blade, right? So really have no idea how this is going to behave, to be honest. Like right now, I really can't give my unbiased opinions because I really don't know what to expect. It feels very light though, and it's very flat. So I don't know, will it be gliding around? Will it be able to take hits and then just bounce off? And because like it's kind of oval, right? Maybe it's actually quite over zone proof, I don't know. So I will really have to test it out in the stadium. But looking at how the shape goes, right, because it's a right spin, it's very oval. So in a way, could be very defensive, like just brushing off the attacks, and it feels very round. Actually, I think after this part wears off, right, it might actually be really good at stamina. Yeah, because there's still some notches here, right? So if, for people who have played the Beyblade long enough, like playing competitively, right, you know, like slight notches like this tends to have like what we call a crit, right? So this could cause a crit, and generally these blades are just gonna like basically just glide off this part here. It's very smooth though. So yeah, there is some promise as a stamina and a defense. So I have to put it up in the stadium to test it, right? I really don't know how to feel just looking at this, but yeah, after wearing this now, probably really good at stamina and taking hits, just like a friend's wizard rod. Wizard arrow. Okay, anyway, 70, 80, 780 ratchet. So once again, for those who don't know how to differentiate, right? For the 80 ratchets, right, so you can count 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 4 notches here, and then another 4 notches. There's going to be an 80. So for the even numbers, it's usually circular. The hexagonal ones are going to be the odd number ones, like the 570, right? So that's one way to really see, you know, how whether this is a 60, 80, or 70 ratchet. And lastly, gear point. This is not a new bit. However, when the first gear point came out, the point was not as pronounced. So not sure if you can see this, but the gear point actually looks really good here. Like, it's very pronounced. So this might actually be a good gear point, and some, like, might make some gear point builds viable. Yeah, it's actually quite pronounced. Alright, so I do know some people who actually loves playing gear point, right, because of like the point, and then at the end there's like some stamina. So gear point to me is a very counter attack-ish type of bit. Like in the initial, when you launch into the stadium, the gears, if you're tilt launching it, it will be very aggressive. Then somewhere once it comes down, it will stay on the point with stamina, and then getting knocked over, and then it will start triggering the counter attack again. So this is how the gear point is supposed to be. Alright, so with this point more prominent, right, it's gonna be really interesting to see how it behaves. Okay, weighing the blade first. The blade is sitting at 32.5. I honestly have no idea if this is underweight or not, but dang, this is a very light blade. 32.5. But again, right, light base does not mean it's a bad base. Like recent releases, there are a few bases which perform really well despite the weight, like for example Golem Rock. So let's not judge this until we put it into the stadium. So 32.51. Somehow I feel like I've seen like a heavier blade, but anyway, the 780 is 787. It's very hefty, right? It's a 780 ratchet, very heavy. And then the gear point bit 2.24, right? Pretty standard. So let's put everything together and see how they weighs. The entire base sitting at 42.61, so actually not too bad a weight. Yeah, and then the tightness of the ratchet, the bit, it feels pretty solid. Wow, 780 is tight. Yeah, the locking is tight on this thing. Damn. Alright, so the ratchet in this might might be worth looking into, right? The locking is actually really very clicky and very tight. Okay, so anyway, let's put this in the stadium and see how this behaves. Let's go. Okay, so ShelterDrake, let's try and test launch it in the stadium. So right now I have a dual launcher setup. But anyway, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so looking at just the general behavior of how this is going to move. So the gear point movement, so this is like a pretty mid-strength launch. So right now it's like, as usual, being calm in the center, and yeah. So and hits should send it flying. So once it took over, it will go onto the gear point, moving around a bit more. So gear point behavior. Right? So let's try with a harder launch. 3, 2, 1, go. So yes, this is the gear point movement. So controlling the strength is very important for launching a gear point. 3, 2, 1, go shoot. Yeah, so you don't really want it to go too crazy. However, tilt launching it, controlling where you're landing to the stadium, it could help quite a bit. Oh wow, the point! I'm actually quite surprised. The point is actually very prominent. Like it does behave a lot more calmer now. Wow. Okay, so let's try tilt launch. Maybe in this angle. Right? 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, right. This gear point movement, so not really too surprising. Okay, so what I do want to see, right, because it's advertised as like a kind of defensive stamina-ish. Alright, so let's put it up straight up against some very aggressive base. I'm going to use my personal combo, the 370 taper, and just to see how Garuda behaves. So this is going to be slightly angled, I'm not sure if you can see. So it's not going to be a flat launch, so we can see how it behaves. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so the crazy dashes all over the place against a heavy bay. And spin finish. Alright, so definitely getting pushed around a lot by the Phoenix. Okay, so let's do this one more time. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, unfortunate ending and unfortunate landing. Got pushed into the over. Really light bay though. Alright, so the Phoenix definitely pushing it around a lot. But what about a bay in about roughly the same weight class, which is the Golem, right? So this is about 34 versus the 32 grams. So this is again my personal combo, the 160 low rush. And yeah, pretty aggressive. So let's see if the Garuda can put up a fight against this. Okay, here we go. Sorry, not Garuda, what am I saying? ShelterDrake. Right, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, the Golem dishing out punches, but can the ShelterDrake take it? And no. It got tilted over. Yeah, let's try one more time, just to give it a fair try. Kind of a fair try. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, so again, it's getting sent flying around quite a bit, even by the Golem. Right? Could the height difference cause it? Right? Because this is on the 780, right? So it's pretty high. So how about something more aggressive, even more aggressive? Drum Buster, let's see if a burst happens. Alright, so this is the Drum Buster, 760 of the level. Three, two, one, go. ShelterDrake spin finish, at least a very aggressive Drum Buster. Okay, both of them losing spin. Oh, Drum Buster won by just a little bit. Okay, so let's try this one more time. 3, 2, 1, go. Wow, okay. So it managed to deflect a hit. So almost went in here, but it came out and then with the blade deflected and basically sent the Drum Buster into the over. Surprising. That was a 32 gram bay versus a 36. So next up is the Wizard Rod. I want to see how the stamina. This is not really a stamina build, but definitely during my testings, I want to put this on the stamina beat just to see how it behaves. Like how good is the stamina on this thing. Okay, so let's try the default combo, the 780 gear point. 3, 2, 1, go. The Wizard Rod self KO. Right, so this is the Wizard Rod 960 free ball combo. If you have a bad landing, it tends to do that in the initial launch. So controlling the landing is very important for the Wizard Rod. Alright, so let's try it again. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so ShelterDrake tends to fall over quite a bit after taking hits. Huh. Okay, so of course stamina is definitely not going to be a thing. Alright, so the final thing which I do want to try, I want to see how good it is as a stamina. So I'm going to put it up against the Wizard Rod 960 free ball just to see like the default stamina, if there's like anything going to change. So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so let's wait for them to settle down. Still quite big hits. Oh, there's the crit. And more crits. That is going to be bad for stamina, that's for sure. And then it's tilting over, getting destabilized by even the Wizard Rod. Oh, not looking good. And there goes the ShelterDrake. And Wizard Rod is still spinning. So anyway, this is a really short test. How I feel about this bay. Now let's get to the conclusion. Let's go. Alright, so let's quickly talk about what I observed in the stadium in these few short tests. So probably more testing could be done. But however, I really do feel like the random crits coming off this thing is really very detrimental to the blade itself, because like every time it takes a hit, a crit happens, it sends flying away. It drains a lot of stamina from itself. However, if you can bank on the crit happening, I can really see like it being a very like it can work as an attack type. Again, I'm sorry for being attack drained, but like the default combo, this is an attack bit, right? This is a high burst resistant bit. It could work on maybe a lower orientation, right? Because on the higher orientation, it seems to have some stabilizing issues. Maybe again, I gotta experiment with a ratchet. Like this 780 definitely is not. It doesn't feel right for this bay, and this bit might be a bit too aggressive for what it's trying to do. So yeah, like that one single lucky hit that sent the drumbuster flying, right? It's because it was tilted over. So with all this tilted parts, so it could be this part that is also sending people flying, right? The ratchet hook. So a tilt launch might be beneficial for this bay, right? Think of it as scooping up your opponent using the blade shape. So in a different configuration, maybe a taper or a unite, this could work. But again, this really boils down to your personal blader preference, right? So what combos do you think could make this work, right? So just leave a suggestion down in the comments below, right? Give me some ideas that I can test, right? So maybe I'll put them to the test and I'll share my findings on X, or formerly known as Twitter. Okay, so leaving a like, hit the notification button, leave a comment, right? This really do help me out a lot. So hopefully this has helped you in some form on whether it's worth it getting the ShelterDrake. Alright, so hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Right, so do stay tuned. CX9 is dropping in March. Right, so March is gonna be a big month. Right, so stay tuned to my channel, subscribe, right? So look forward to more videos coming in March. Right, stay safe everyone. Bye bye.